Hello YouTube! Let's make some dried pork sausage. What we have here: pork, lean meat, pork, fat meat. It's about 20% of the value. What we will do, we will grind coarse everything, and then probably half of it, again probably because you can choose whatever you want, I will grind second time on a fine plate, just to be as a binder. The next step will be spices, mixing, stuffing the casings, and really it will be another about 3 to 4 weeks drying process. Let me explain you a little bit before. Meat is already pre-salted. It was 5 days in a fridge with a 2% of salt, including Instacure 2. Again, it's Instacure 2 because I will be drying it. Just to make sure, I put head of the grinder into a fridge overnight before. So now everything is really cold. I grinded just the fat part. Now I will be adding slowly mix of the spices. Now, what is in that mix? I prepared it ahead of the time. Garlic powder, pepper, nutmeg, cardamon, and really just this is cayenne and chipotle. A little bit of a kick situation. I love it. It adds a really interesting tang of the flavor. Like, you know, you eating is like, it's something, but it's not too spicy. Proportions will be again below the video, but everything is pretty much 2% of a salt, 1% garlic powder, 1% pepper, nutmeg and coriander, and 0.5% or according to the taste of the spicy stuff. So now I will be slowly putting that in together with the meat. So it will be first mix. After that, again, we will be mixing the meat by itself, and we will add secret ingredient, which is actually vodka. It can be added 15 to 30 milligrams per kilo. Now again, I'm going by kilo because to count percentages is way easier. Let's mix spices first. Very sophisticated finger method. First step is done. Now I will change the plate to the small one, to the small whole plate, and I will just take briefly whatever couple hands full and regrind it through the small plate. What that will do, smaller grinding will do better binding for the meat, so sausages will come up a little bit more even than sometimes coming up with a little bit of lumps. But I still would like to have some lumps because, you know, the cut of the fat is way nicer than cut of the smudged fatty substance. So let's do it. And we're done. As you see, you clearly can see the difference in between the fat part, coarse grind and fine grind. So now what we will do, we will add our, in a quote, secret ingredient vodka, and we will mix it. And I just will bring the mixer in. We will go from there. Mixer is here. So if everything does not fit, the whole meat doesn't fit, like, you can split it apart, then of course you will need to remix it the whole. So if you don't know what will happen, just take lengthwise. That, at least that's what I will do. The same story as while mixing, add half of it. So practically part one is done. We grind the meat, we mix the meat, it's ready to be stuffed. Now let me clean up all of that. But in that time, meat will go to refrigerator back, possibly even into freezer, because meat need to be cold, really cold to get a quality product. So let me fix everything and I'll see you soon. Okay, so we're ready for step two. I will load the stuffer and probably I will do one solid longer piece. Then I will be dividing to more equal pieces. This way they will dry more evenly. And let's get going. So now let's get started and let's see what will happen, because again I have a limited amount of meat, so I can really stuff everything first and then divide into the pieces. So let's get going. Now I had a little bit meat left. What I will do in the middle of the process, I just would add it. This way there is less possibility to get air into the sausage, but again we see the air bubbles, we will need to prick them. Now everything is stuffed. You need to watch not to overstuff it a little bit, that you would be able to divide it. Now, truthfully, you can just pinch it and all of this could dry in one piece. But again, this is very tricky. So what we will do again, we will do certain pieces and tie it up, and then I will see you then. Because truthfully I just need to clean up, take the length and start from the end, see what divisions I will do for the meat. For now I'm just putting them together. Let me see the measurement, okay? I'm just putting them together, and when I'm ready to hang, then I will hang it from the, prepare it and hang it from here. Okay, so now when we have pieces, we can just tie them together. If it's too long, you can of course make it shorter. Here we have it. Now we would need to hang it somewhere where is the not too hot and not too dry. The best would be some kind of a basement if you have it, and again you just need to watch what's going on. Sometimes people asking, oh, meat will go bad. It could. If it's too humid, it will not be releasing humidity, but if it's too dry, it would get outer layer, it will get too dry too fast, and that's what we need to avoid. I do have basement, so they will be hanging there. Maybe you will see some pictures, or maybe I will take video through the process. And again, it will take about 3 weeks. The best is weight each of them and put a small tag which will tell you. Some people putting 2 weights. That means what was the original and what's the target. Usually I put just the target. That should be about 35% less weight than it is now. 35%. Some people going more, then the meat will be a little bit more drier and more hard. So just watch out. and I'll guide you through the process, and I'll see you cutting it. I did not show pricking part. That's what it looks like. It needs to be pricked both sides because again we're trying to dry the product, so we want a little bit small holes all over the place. That's it. So I know that I failed. And why, how, and where? It's a long story, but how I know that I failed: first, I cut already one. Second one, the weight, this is a target weight. It dropped way below that. I missed a moment, I had some things to attend. I left a couple more days than I supposed to dry. The heating system kicked in because of the cold weather, and suddenly everything changed. How I know that I failed? Here everything's fine, and I can cut you here and I can show you and say, hey, it's wonderful. But here, you see it's moving? That means there is an air gap. That means I have something which is dry the meat on outside way faster than inside. I would need to have a drying cabinet or curing chamber, something like that. Now, let's cut it first. Let's see what happened here. If you look, I can tell you it's perfect. It's nice, but if you see carefully, there is a softer inside. You see a little bit brownish spot? That means it was not drying exactly as it should. That's what the problem is. The taste wise is perfect. I love the taste. You can still cut it thin, not thin like that, but paper thin preferable. You don't need to do anything. You can just cut it and eat it. It looks wonderful, but again, as you see, there are air gaps. Again, it's a long story. I do have certain times of the year when I can do that. That means when summer is coming a little bit to the end, but the heating season is not on yet, then it's pretty higher humidity, but it's not as hot as you would expect. So I would say I failed. Why? Again, it's my problem, it's my mistake, because when you dry a couple days in a basement, you need to put for another couple days in a fridge to settle down. The best probably would be just maybe put that in Tupperware for 24 hours and just in a fridge like that, because in the fridge it is still drying. So yes, I will need probably to wait for a spring to try one more time again to do. And that's what I was telling you. There are air gaps. Is it a problem? You know, the outside is very hard, the inside is very soft. But if you like to eat like this, paper thin, it is perfect. I do like the taste. Now, not everybody likes it. This is just the dried. It comes up like a jerky style, but again, because of not evenness, it's not exactly a jerky. So I will stick for the winter to the boiled and cooked sausages, again because the heating is on and the heat really dries up outside part really fast, and you cannot do anything about it. So that was a mistake. It's not a total failure. I don't need to throw anything out. I will be enjoying it. So again, if you want to get some kind of a project, join my channel, subscribe, like it or dislike it if you don't like something, comment. I don't want to get too much into the curing chamber setup. It's involving a lot of things. I know how to do that. I would need to find the used or new, if I would have possibilities, fridge and convert it to a dry curing chamber. Not drying, it's a curing chamber. But I don't have dedicated space for that. So it's a life situation and you try to do the best as you can. I'm happy that I have my smokers. This sausage actually, or kielbasa, whatever you call it, was smoked yesterday for 12 hours together with the mackerel. Mackerel came out perfect. Oh, sorry, there is no video for that. But I will do it. It's coming. And really, if I'm talking too much, sorry for that, but hopefully you're getting some useful stuff out of it.